What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tendo Show. But as you can tell today, it's not the Tendo Show, it's the Hannah Show. What's up, everybody? I am, of course, Hannah, and next to me is the lovely Monique. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So if you didn't catch last week's episode, Dallas sat down with Ivan from the YouTube channel Ivan and Monique, and naturally fitting, we have Monique with us today. So Monique and I are going to chat a little bit about our interests, our thrifting, our love of antiques and dishes, and all that fun stuff. So it's going to be a pretty relaxing, chill chit chat. How about that? So if you haven't seen Ivan and Monique's channel, it is definitely similar to ours. They go out thrifting and they go look for things for resale on eBay, on your antique malls. What kind of avenues do you all resell on?
Mercari, eBay, Depop, and we have some antique booths.
Fantastic. Like there's a lot to unpack there, because I definitely have a lot of experience with Depop, which you've told me before is a recent endeavor for you, isn't it?
Yeah, we're still learning. We're babies. We have our training wheels on.
When did you start your Depop page?
I don't know. It's been probably a month now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I want to say no, couple weeks.
Oh.
Shy of a month.
That's all right. Time flies, you know. How do you like it? What do you think?
Well, from what Ivan tells me, it's easier to list on. We're trying to sell t-shirts, vintage t-shirts, if we can find them.
For sure.
I think we've sold some pants. I don't know.
So you're mostly looking at like your vintage t-shirts, and I think that's kind of what you all talked about, that you wanted to focus on mostly, which is really cool, because that is something I know is super popular on Depop, but not something that I personally do very often. And it's not from lack of interest. I definitely love doing the whole vintage t-shirt thing. Whenever I do find them, I do try to list them, but to me it was always like too much competition.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're trying to just pick things that are like trendy and like pop culture-y, so we're trying to stay in that kind of category. So far it's working out. We think we're enjoying it.
Well, that's good. I mean, I feel like with reselling, it's always about the things, like trying to sell the things that you enjoy selling, because I feel like there is definitely a way to get overwhelmed by, the options that are out there. Like, I mean, you can sell toothpick holders, you can sell golf balls, like literally anything that you can find. There is a market for it in specific ways. So, if you're going to go out to the thrift store and you just love golfing, like you're going to want to know a lot more about golfing, and you're going to sell a lot more things like golf clubs and do the research on it. But, if you don't have any interest in, vintage t-shirts or something, you're definitely going to not gravitate toward that. So it's really, it's pretty cool. Like, you can get into something so specific like that and just kind of grow from there.
Yeah. I mean, there's still a lot that we need to learn. I mean, so far we just know like single stitch. We know about like the tags and whatnot, and it's really crazy how in-depth things can be. Something that I found that was very overwhelming whenever it came to t-shirts was that there's all those different tags, and sometimes you can look at them and be like, oh my gosh, I can't tell if this is like early 2000s or if this is literally from Walmart. Like, I can go buy it for $7 right now. And so it's intense. But you guys have made a few sales on Depop, and you've done some fun stuff on there. I know that you do Mercari as well, which is something that we don't do at all. How do you feel about Mercari? What's up with that? It's doing good. Yeah, it's going good. I think we've sold some plush on there. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the plush does what's something that specifically does well on Mercari, do you think?
What is that? Toys?
We sold toys pretty well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're selling toys on there. I don't know. I always confuse Depop and Mercari, so I'm trying to like separate them in my brain right now. I'm like, oh, what have we sold? But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's going good. So I don't know.
What else? That's awesome. We're both super nervous.
I know. Sorry.
No, we're fine. You guys have been doing full-time reselling for how long? Did you?
Like 2 years now.
2 years now. Awesome. How did you get started into it?
I think honestly, just like watching other people's YouTube channels, and we've always like, oops, sorry, I hit the table. We've always liked thrifting. So kind of just like turning that into like, how can we make money, you know?
Yeah.
So we kind of like learn from other YouTubers and like, what do they do? You know, just go from there.
So you get a lot of your inspiration from YouTube specifically. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
Are there specific YouTubers that you really enjoy watching?
Ivan's pointing at Tendo now.
Other than that, like, let's forget about that.
Worship me.
No. Well, like, I know that you really enjoy, as I do, dishes. So are there specific YouTube channels that you really love, like, learning about dishes about?
Yeah, like I like to watch Crazy Lamp Lady. She sells all kinds of stuff.
Oh my gosh, she is crazy. Like, I don't know how that woman gets through a day with all the things that she does. She's insane.
You know what? It was funny because me and Ivan were talking about it the other day, and she says on her channel that she doesn't watch TV or listen to the radio. So I'm like, that's how she retains all this information, you know, like all these brands and makers and like how things are made. And
so she spends all of her time like reading books.
I guess. I'm like, that's how
I couldn't imagine.
I don't know. But yeah, she's one that I like a lot. And then actually a while back we were watching Bin Pickers, and they're a married couple who have kids, and they've moved around a lot, like different states and whatnot. And they just buy like all kinds of clothes from the bins and they resell them. So, but they've stopped filming. They're not doing YouTube anymore, I guess personal things. But yeah, I really liked watching them because they were surviving off of it. You know,
Yeah.
they're making money just flipping clothes. So that was really cool to watch.
They did clothes more specifically?
Yeah, just like all kinds of clothes, just anything. It wasn't specifically vintage. It was just everything.
That's so crazy too. Like I was saying before, like there's literally a market for anything. And I feel like clothes is what I specifically do mostly. I mean, yes, I do sell dishes as well in my antique mall, but there's like a total world of clothing that I haven't even scratched the surface on. Like the different types of brands that you can sell on Macari and on Poshmark, and just it's insane. So it's like watching someone like the Bin Pickers that would pick up all these different clothing pieces and then be like, oh, this is from Free People and I can sell it for like $30. I'll be like, well, hot darn. I don't pick up Free People. It's just not in my wheelhouse because it's not from 1970.
Oh my gosh. I know. Well, I mean, it's hard to hear that. Well, I don't know. I thought you just... Because watching your channel, you just seem so knowledgeable. I'm like, oh, Hannah knows everything about clothes.
Oh my goodness. Like... The biggest misconception in the world. Like, girl, I'm making it up as I go. It's kind of crazy because like I feel like that with clothing a lot, because there's a lot of ways that you can look up something on like eBay or something. You find a piece of Hazel Atlas.
Yeah.
Like a cup from Hazel Atlas, and you're like, oh, I know that this symbol means Hazel Atlas. Okay, I'm gonna look this up and see what the comps on it are and like what realistically can I get for it. And then you, like with clothing, I feel like you look it up, you get a piece of like Wrangler jeans, and you're just like, I'm gonna try to get 30 out of this. Let's do it. And then someone's like, will you take 15 for it? I'm like, sure, why not? Let's just, whatever.
Let's move it.
Let's just try this out.
I'm trying to think of who else we like to watch that sells stuff. Who else do we watch that sells stuff? Oh, that's right. Yeah, Shell Bell. So her name is Michelle. Her channel is called Shell Bell. And she's been doing eBay forever, like probably since I started watching YouTube, which was like when I was in high school. And she sells all kinds of stuff. She goes to mostly like yard sales, estate sales. I think she does go to some thrift stores. And she just sells like everything, like just a variety of everything.
Bless her.
Yes. I'm like, how do you retain all that information?
Yeah, that's so crazy. Like that was something that impressed me about Crazy Lamp Lady so much, is that she, like you said, she's just so knowledgeable, and she'll like pick up like some kind of salt shaker, and she'd be like, oh, this is this salt shaker from this era, and this is how much it's worth, and this is when I've sold it before. It's just like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
How do you know that?
It's just like the folk art. The folk art she would pick up was mind blowing to me. She's like, oh, this stuff's worth a lot of money. And she start talking about it, and you're like, why? It's a plank of wood that's etched. I don't get it.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't see the value in some of the things, but I'm like, hey, there's, everybody likes something.
Everybody's got their own different style, you know. I feel like my personal home decor style is very like sporadic. Like
eclectic.
Right? I guess, yeah. And like whenever, well, I grew up in a very small town, so we didn't have a bunch of like malls and pottery barns and things to like walk around, and you had like Walmart, and you had to drive up to St. Louis or down to Cape Girardeau to be able, the two bigger cities near us, to like go and get anything. So it's like what I thought home decor was beautiful was like Hobby Lobby. Like you walk in, you're like, oh, look, they've got a kiosk of little like checkerboards and chefs. That should be a great kitchen option, And it's like that was my style, was like what the media told me, what these shops would tell me it was pretty. So I didn't really spend a lot of time doing research on different types of home decor and things that other people really like, And then of course the Pinterest and Instagram kind of culture came into play, and I was able to really figure out that, hey, there is stuff that you can put together that isn't just chef's black and white checkerboards with red accents. And so, I started to go, okay, I can create a style. And so this was probably within the last 2-3 years. I was like, let's try to find a style.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I never spend a lot of time trying to collect beautiful eclectic pieces that like go together, and like sitting in your lovely home, you've got lovely pieces that you've pieced together over time. It's just, that's so crazy to me. It's something that like I really want. And so like watching somebody like Crazy Lamp Lady, and she's just like got all these different pieces that she can throw together and be like, oh, I know that this person's style would be like folk art. Like folk art would go good with that kind of style. And it's just, it's bizarre to me that I think that one day I can have like this huge collection of these beautiful vintage pieces that all go together and make this beautiful home style. But what would you say? Do you say that you have like a specific home style? Things that your eye is drawn to?
I think, okay, my ultimate thing is like Victorian stuff. I love Victorian stuff. I've always loved it. Maybe from like watching movies and like learning about art history. I think that's kind of where like it came from. But it's just, I like the ornate like patterns, and it's just like they don't make stuff like that anymore, you know? So I can like really appreciate that. But you're asking what is my style?
Well, yeah. Do you have a specific style, like things or things that you're like, whenever I go to the thrift store, I'm always looking for certain types of pieces that I would like to put in my home, or I think other people like to put in their home.
I think right now I'm going through like a 70s phase, because I'm really like, I don't notice it at the moment, but then when I bring it home and it's like all in a pile or whatever, I'm like, oh my God, it's like really 70s. Like to me it is, like the color palette and everything. Like I have a lot of yellows and browns going on right now. So I think that's kind of like what I'm doing right now, like a lot of florals. But also I'm like, am I inspired by this apartment? Because this apartment was built in the 70s. And I think maybe that kind of like influences me sometimes.
You're just like, I need some more like retro hippie vibes in my life.
Yeah, I just need to chill out, man. Groovy. But like our previous apartment, it was built in 1929. So around the 30s, you know? So I think I was also influenced by that stuff. I think that's when I got into depression glass.
Oh, okay.
So in our previous apartment in Long Beach, I was like just collecting like Great Depression stuff, and that's kind of like when I learned about it. And so, yeah, I think I'm just like influenced by where we're living or like the phase I'm at in my life.
That's so cool. I mean, like, I've never even considered when our living space was built. Like, if I were to guess, I would say maybe the 70s, because it's kind of got a retro feel to it, but I have no idea.
I think, you know what? Maybe it's like the historical aspect of it. I just like to know like when it was, like how old is this building that I'm living in, you know, and kind of just go down that rabbit hole. So I don't know. It could be a lot of things.
Yeah, but I mean, you've been able to kind of pull a very unique eclectic style out of it, and that's so awesome.
Definitely eclectic. It's very mix match, you know. It's not perfect. I'm still working on some stuff, but I'm comfortable right now.
Well, I feel like the beauty of thrifting is that, you know, you can always be just like building a beautiful collection of home decor things, and you don't spend a lot of money on it. You don't go, oh, I adore this piece right now, I'm going to spend these $3 on it. And then you put it on the wall for 3 months and you're like, I don't know why I bought that. And it's just like, oh my gosh, but I spent $300 on it. No, I spent $3. I'll just donate it back and somebody else can fall in love with it.
Yeah.
Or put it in your antique mall booth.
Yeah, make money off of it.
That's awesome too. That's been something that's been a very happy situation to find ourselves in with the antique malls. I'll do that too. I'll buy something at the thrift store and be like, oh, I love this. I think it's so cool. It's usually dishes for me because girl, how many plates do you need in your life? Like, let's be serious.
Some of them are really pretty.
Some of them are awesome. I feel like that's kind of where my confused home decor really shows. It's just like, Hannah, what are you even doing? Like, why do you have rainbow plates next to this like 70s stoneware? It doesn't make sense. But I like them both for different reasons.
That's funny. But is it like a nostalgic thing for you? Like of the dishware? Like you were kind of talking about your grandma?
Yeah, it really is. I didn't realize that's what it was. Like, honestly, whenever I started getting into dishes, I had just found Crazy Lamp Lady. I was like, I think dishes are something that are valuable. So let's try to do some research on it. So I did a deep dive into YouTube, and I was like, who sells dishes really well? And so I started watching her, and she started showing the things that she would sell, and I started learning, a few of the more obscure pieces, and then started kind of falling in love with the different types of dishes that are out there. And my brain automatically was like, well, what are things that are popular? Things that my mom had. That I know, like, that other people's moms had too. And that was where the Corningware and the Pyrex really came into the forefront of my mind, because my mom had a primary set just like I have. Come to find out, she told me whenever my parents were dealing with my grandmother's estate, that she had the same set as well. And I was like, I had no idea that she had that, which she baked all the time. I don't know why I never paid attention to the fact that they were the same, but I didn't.
That's crazy.
And so that was something, the nostalgia came into play. I was just like, oh, well, my mom had these, so I think I want to keep a set for myself. Yeah. Even though, like, primary set's worth about $80. So, if I need a quick $80, I think I got it covered.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But then I was like, well, if I'm going to have a primary set, if I'm going to go ahead and pull, like, start the whole collection of having cool dishes, I think I might as well just go all in. Let's try to do some fun stuff with it. Let's really start to create an actual collection. So that's where I started with the primary set, and then I went into a few of the Corningware dishes. And now my cupboards are completely jammed packed with I want to say about 40 plates.
Oh my god.
I have like 3 different sets of plates. I have one where I collected one of each. Like, I got 6 plates of stoneware that are all different styles, but they're all kind of like the same color palette. So they all go together, but none of them are the same. And so I had that whole set, but that was after I already bought a set from the bins whenever we first moved in that were basically like really nice Chinaware. So they were white plates with like these gold trims on it.
Ooh.
Drove me insane that I couldn't put them in the microwave.
Oh my god.
Because who puts China in the microwave?
Well,
it's got the metal on the edge,
Yeah.
Sparks and craziness. And so whenever I was like, oh, hey, Dallas, I'm going to get this this set of stoneware dishes. I think it's going to be really cool. He's like, that's great. I think you should definitely do that. Are you getting rid of your old set?
Uh-oh.
I was like, yeah, absolutely. We're definitely going to get rid of that. It's been over a year.
Little did you know.
Still haven't gotten rid of it. So you're like, Hannah, you're complaining that your cupboard is full of dishes. Like, why don't you just get rid of your old set? You don't need that many plates.
I mean, when you love something, it's hard to let it go. It's just, I mean, I have the same problem. One of my cabinets on the bottom is just full. It was full of a bunch of different random vintage stuff. And I was like, look, none of this stuff matches. I can just sell it. I can let it go. I'm not that attached to it. I know somebody is going to want it. You know, and it was like Pyrex and some Fire King and some Corningware. So I got rid of it.
You did?
And yeah. And now it's just full of strawberry stuff. I'm like, I have to tone down this obsession, this hoarding, and I'll just pick one theme, strawberries.
Oh, well, good for you.
I'm trying to control it.
I think that's so impressive, though, because like you were able to pick something that you collect that includes like everything. It's not like I am getting only Pyrex dishes, which is where my brain immediately went. I was like, oh, if I'm going to do Pyrex, I'm going to do Pyrex.
Yeah.
Lord, don't do that to yourself.
That's a lot. Like, how many Pyrex pieces do you think are out there?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. But on the opposite end, there's none, because you go to the thrift store. Yeah. How many times have you ever seen the Pyrex plates?
No.
Never. Mm-mm. I think I've seen literally one single plate one time, and it was like $20 for that plate at Goodwill. And I was like, no.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, so like there's no way that that's realistic. But now I've got, a set of random stoneware next to my Pyrex milk glass dishes. Like what even is my life? So.
Oh my god.
But you specifically collect strawberry things.
I do.
Mm-hmm. So you collect strawberry things that are in the shapes of strawberries, that have strawberry patterns on it, that are a certain color palette. Like where did your idea of this strawberry session, your idea of strawberries, like come from? Like why strawberries, and what is your scale of your threshold of like what kind of strawberry things do you get? Like where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
What do you include in that collection? What do you not?
Okay, so I think why I like strawberries is because they remind me of the summertime, and I like, obviously like in being in the summer, it's like that when you are on vacation from school and whatnot, it's the happy time. It's so that's kind of what yeah, exactly. Like no school, yeah, I can do whatever I want. So like strawberries to me mean like summertime, like happiness, and then I think they also have like a naturally retro quality to them for some reason, in my brain anyway. Sure. I connect those two.
I could see that, like kind of that 70s vibe you were saying, for sure.
And I actually am drawn to that pattern, like the more 70s pattern strawberries. I'm like, yeah, that one. I'm kind of picky about the strawberries that I collect.
Well, that's good too. It helps create a cohesive look to it. If you have like a cartoon strawberry next to a nice 70s stoneware dish with a strawberry on it, it's probably going to look very different.
Yeah, it just depends on what it is. It's like, and then also if I just feel bad for it for some reason that day, like, oh, this little lonely orphan plate is here and nobody wants it, I'm gonna take you home with me.
It's nice to know that somebody else does that, like puts feelings into things at the thrift store. Like I do that so often with like kids projects. Like how many times have you walked into a Goodwill and you're like, some child worked very hard on this.
Yeah.
Like they painted this for their mom and their mom just took it to the store, just disregarded it.
Yeah, that does make me sad when I see a little project or to grandma and it's there. I'm like, oh man, that's so sad.
Like it's all alone. I'm not grandma, so I shouldn't get it, but I feel so bad for you.
Yeah. So I kind of do that. I adopt some strawberry things. And then I kind of have like a red and green color theme going on, so I try to stay within those colors, like for the kitchen and the dining area. And going back to our last apartment too, there was like this really cool, because we had a 1929 1930s kitchen, so like there was this cool red stripe that ran through the tile on the top part.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like on the backsplash. Yeah, so I kind of like incorporated, like all the colors. I was like, okay, I'm going to go with red and green. It's going to look like this. And then now it's just like this monster. It evolved into just like, I don't even know what it is. It's just all strawberry stuff. Yeah, so
that's really cool that your old apartment was really like a huge influence in why you chose the strawberries specifically too. Is that right? Like you had the little red accent in that kitchen. You're like, I have to do something with red.
Yeah, because I was like, I have to match it. It has to look good. You know, I'm trying to decorate this place, make it look presentable. So I kind of went with that also.
I feel like that kind of is a bit of an influence in what, like, I feel like the kitchen in our household is the one thing that I've kind of got a little bit of personality into. And so I feel like whenever I walked into my kitchen when we first moved in, I was like, it is so bland in here. Like the cabinets were brown, the walls are white, the refrigerator's white, the cabinets are, you know, like this light wood. And so I was like, there's not a lot of beautiful color in here. Like there's no personality into it whatsoever. I mean, it's an apartment. They want them to be very blank slate so you can do with it what you own. So whenever I walked in there, I was like, I need to put some color in here. So I decided to go with all of them.
Just rainbow.
So it's like this palette of like fuchsia and teal and yellow and orange and like dark electric blue. So like it has kind of a vibe, I guess.
It's just colorful.
But yeah, I was like that I guess if I were to explain my dish collecting, it's just like something that's colorful. And I really like it, which Pyrex is something that definitely like loves their color. So it worked out pretty well. Do you feel like you have all the pieces that you want for the strawberries?
No.
Are there still things that you're really looking for?
Oh my God. Yeah. It's just like every time I do or like pick up a different piece that I haven't seen before, I like do research and then I like find other things. And then I'm like stuck on eBay looking at like strawberry stuff for sale. And I'm like, no, Monique, stop. Okay. So I try to like keep it to just like when I find things in the wild, you know, if I find it on my own, then I'll pick it up if I really like it. And if it's like at a decent price.
Okay. So you won't go on eBay and buy X item for...
I have done it before. So, because I found these two glasses and I was like, what is this? And they're like signed and everything. I found out they're from the 80s. It turns out they're Teleflora. But they have like this really cool like retro strawberry design on it. It's like a frosted glass. And so I had the two cups and I was like, you know what? Let me go online and see if there's like a pitcher and like some other glass so I could complete the set.
Yeah.
So that's what I ended up doing. From two different sellers, I got a pitcher from one and then two matching glasses from the other seller.
That's awesome.
So I have my little set.
Well, I guess if that's the one thing that you got from eBay, that's fair.
I try to be good. Yeah. I don't want to. There's so many things that I could buy right now. And I'm like, no, don't do that.
Well, especially like a strawberry is kind of a very simple symbol that somebody that is decorating a dish, like coming out with a new line, they'd be like, what is something that is edible and pretty? A strawberry. So I'm sure there's a bazillion things out there that you're like, this would work in my set, but how many coffee mugs do I need? How many pitchers do I need?
I know. I'm obsessed with coffee mugs too. Like,
Lord, don't get me started on that.
Like they have those really cool milk glass coffee mugs with the strawberry shortcake on them. That's what I'm trying to get next.
Okay.
Those are so
you've
cool.
Expanded into the strawberry shortcake.
Yeah, I was trying not to go down that. Just because like I have so much crap. I have so much stuff already. It's, you know, I love it. It's beautiful and everything. It's just I'm trying to be good because I know I can just, you know, you turn that corner and you can't come back.
I know. Well, it's like it's the one thing that you really collect. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like it's okay. You can go nuts on one thing. It's like me with my Bratz dolls. Like, what rational 30-year-old woman needs 400 Bratz dolls? None. I know I'm not rational.
Oh my God. But that's so fun though.
Oh yeah, at least with your dishes you can use them and enjoy.
Yeah, that's true.
Just sit on my shelf. But you know, it's fine. I still like them.
Oh my goodness.
So I have actually found a few of the strawberry shortcake pieces in my reselling days, and that's something there's a lot of value to them.
Yeah, those are.
I mean, it's not amazing value, like hundreds of dollars, but I mean, you can sell one of the cups for like $10-15, just a single glass. So
yeah, I definitely feel like people are looking for them. You know, the collectors. And
what is the most recent strawberry piece that you have picked up?
Oh my gosh.
Think about it. Dive deep in the brain.
I know. I think it was probably I got like this giant ramekin, and it's like, it has like a strawberry print on the outside, and it's by, I'm gonna get the name wrong. Is it Westmoreland?
You can literally make up a name and be like, that's so fancy.
I can't remember, but it's like the strawberry pattern, and this line of dishes is actually worth money, I found out.
Oh, really?
So like, if you have a set of anything, dang, now I'm regretting not knowing the thing off the top of my head.
That's okay. It'll come to you tonight whenever you're in the shower.
I know.
Like, I can't do anything with this information now. This is useless. Just comment it below later.
Yeah, I will. But yeah, they're actually worth money, and they're like really well made. And like sometimes they have like some gold in the pattern. They're really pretty.
That's awesome.
The way they make their dishes. So I always have to keep an eye out for those, because I have 2 coffee mugs from that line. I want to like at least get 2 more so I can have like a set of 4.
Ooh. So with the coffee mugs, would you abandon all your other coffee mugs if you got a full strawberry set? There's the question. Would you get rid of them?
No.
You just end up with a shelf or cabinet in your house that is full of coffee mugs that are stacked on top of each other because they don't fit anymore, which is what my kitchen is. I didn't realize this from the very beginning, but I apparently collect cat mugs.
Oh my God.
I didn't know that was going to happen, but we had some friends staying over at our house, and they were sleeping over for the night, and I was like, oh, do you want something to like wind down? I've got some tea I'm gonna make. Do you want some tea? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, what mug do you want? I've got several. And I was like, here's one that's a cat with glasses. This is a cat with a tail. This what cat mug do you want? I have 8.
It's all different personalities.
My cat with glasses. Her name is Edith. Aww. She is fancy.
That's cute.
Completely unintentional, but you know, once you get cats, you're like, all right, well, I guess I love cat things now.
I don't blame you. Yeah. Like when we were staying with you guys, your cats are so cute and soft, and I was like, oh, maybe we should get a cat.
Oh no. We'll bring you to the dark side.
I know. Ivan was thinking about it too for a second. Yeah. I was like, I don't know about that pet rent though.
Oh gosh, I know, it's the worst. I was like, he doesn't even pay, like, he doesn't have a job. How can he pay for rent? Leave him alone. He sleeps all day.
He has this little briefcase. He's like, I'm going to work.
Well, our cat Mochi loves to sleep on office chairs, so she would be the businesswoman in the family. She'd be like, I'm going to go to my job.
That's awesome.
Oh, she's a little goofball. Goodness.
She's so cuddly.
Oh, it's funny, whenever you guys were there, she finally warmed up to y'all a little bit. She is not the most human warm cat. Like, she is very much a terrified kitty. So anytime, like, whenever you first were there, she was hiding. And then, of course, Pants came out because he's just like, I am very special and you should always give me your attention because I am a pretty boy. That's what I imagine my cat's personality is. He's just like, look at me, I'm cool.
He is so pretty though. I didn't notice he has like a little triangle on his face. It's really cool.
He's such a little goofball. But Mochi eventually came out and she's just like, oh, you guys aren't gonna eat me. And it was amazing that she came to you, like you were staying in our spare room, and she like walked into that room and she's like, hey, we can be friends. And I was like, oh my gosh, Mochi, who we call Momo, which is so fitting that she like warmed up to you, because sometimes Ivan lovingly calls you Momo.
He does. Yeah, actually that name came from my grandpa. Like,
oh really?
I remember on my Christmas presents when I was little, they would wrap our presents like in the comic strip, from the newspaper.
Yeah.
And they would always put Momo.
Aww.
Or Mo. Yeah.
That's so sweet.
And now Ivan calls me Mo, and his whole family's like, Mo. I'm like, I'm just used to it.
You kind of get used to it. Well, at least your childhood nickname is similar to your actual name. Mine was Boo. Yeah, I was
okay, Boo.
Well, it was my babysitter used to call me Hannah B. And I don't really know what the B meant, but Hannah B. So, or it was like Hannah Boo, Hannah B, and then it was just Boo. And so that,
it evolved.
Yeah. So
as
until I was, 18 or so and left the house, my family called me Boo. And I was like, all right,
so
cool. It was many moons ago. Now I'm an adult, and they're like, we'll call you Hannah. It's fine.
Aww. I would be like, no, call me Boo.
Yeah,
it's
Boo.
cuter. Wasn't that the little girl's name from Monsters Inc?
Yeah,
it is, right?
It was. Oh, that was such a good movie.
I know.
It was something that I took for granted a little bit. I watched that movie and I was just like, that was really sweet. And then I never watched it again. And then when I was older, I watched it and I was just like, the colors in it. Like, it's just a visually beautiful movie, I must say.
It is. It's really nice. It's the ending that makes me sad. I'm like, no.
So good. How did you want to have your door painted pink with purple flowers on it when you watched it?
Maybe.
I definitely did. I was like, how can I do that? I want it with the light above it too. Like, I want
that. You wanted the whole shebang, the whole setup.
In my childhood home though, my bedroom was right off the kitchen, so it was, the heart of the home was like the living room kitchen area, and so when you turned when you went from the living room into the dining area and turned to your direct left, that was my bedroom door. So having a pink door with purple flowers in like the middle of our house was not gonna fly.
Oh man. Like, come on, Mom.
Like, my mom was definitely very supportive in any creative endeavor that I wanted to go down. She let me have glow in the dark stars like draping from my door, and she's like, that's okay, you can have that as long as whenever we have guests I can close the door.
Aww.
It's fine. She's just like, I don't want to have to explain 300 times, yes, they're glow in the dark stars, yes, they tangle a million times, yes, they're in the way, no, I don't like them, but they're for my daughter and I love her, so shh.
Those were awesome. I remember those.
Oh yeah, I had glow in the dark stars suspended from fishing line from my ceiling, and my ceiling was covered with wallpaper of the night sky. Whenever I told my mom, I was like, I want the night sky on my ceiling. She's like, okay, well, we'll paint it black and we'll have the little stars. And I was like, no, I want stars on the ceiling and suspended from the ceiling. She's like, all right, we'll get it done. So whenever I moved out of the house, whenever I went to college, that wallpaper came right down.
Oh man.
Just like, no.
Oh, so you can't like go back and like just admire
under the stars again. No, that's okay. There was a time in my life where laying under the stars in my own bedroom was what I enjoyed, but now I think being a grown woman, that's all right. I can let it go. It's like it's a guest bedroom for my family now. I've got several older brothers and sisters, and they all have kids and everything. So now it's just like, she's like, I need spaces for people to sleep, and we just gotta have this to be manageable. Cleaning fishing line over and over, all the dust that collects. She's like, no, we're not doing this anymore.
That's true. I didn't think of that. Okay, Mom, I get it.
Yeah, Mom, you're okay. We're good.
That's so funny though that you're like, because I'm trying to make a connection. I'm trying to I like psychology. I like to make connections and things. And how your bedroom was right next to the kitchen, and now you are like a dish collector. Like you have,
I was always like, maybe subconsciously while I was sleeping, like my mom cooking breakfast in the morning was like right there. Like I have this like connection to food because of it, maybe because I do have a very deep connection to food. If you go, Hannah, you have $400 to spend on anything you want. I'd be like, let's go to a fancy restaurant, blow it all.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Like $100 a plate. We got 4 of us. Let's go.
Oh man, that's so funny.
Oh goodness. What was did you have a crazy childhood bedroom or something from your childhood that?
Me and my brother, we shared a bedroom for the longest time. But I remember like around high school age at my dad's house, that's when he bought a house around that time. And then that's when I finally had my own bedroom. And it was so, I don't know, I was like excited and I didn't even know what to do. And then what we ended up doing was we painted all the walls like a light blue, and we did like a mural. It was just like clouds. Almost
beautiful.
Like Toy Story, but like more realistic clouds.
Man. I wish I had that idea. I could have the stars above me and the clouds on my walls.
Oh,
that would have been great.
Yeah, we just combined those two.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect bedroom. And I had like that silver blow up 90s inflatable couch.
Yes.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh my! I had one of those inflatable chairs whenever I was a kid. I won it at like the church picnic. Those like silly ring toss games or whatever. That was my prize. I got one of those pink chairs. I blew it up, and my brother sat on it. My brother's a big dude.
Oh no!
We didn't have the pink chair anymore.
Oh, dang. Yeah, but that's kind of what my bedroom was like. And then I had to match everything to the clouds. So I had like my bedspread had like clouds on it. The curtains had clouds. Maybe it was a little bit overkill, like looking back on it now, but it was fun.
It sounds relaxing.
It
sounds like a peaceful place to be.
Yeah, I would say I was relaxed in that room.
You're just sleeping in the clouds. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, I was a really stressed out teenager, so that probably helped a little bit.
Just like walk in your room.
Yes, just close the door.
That's me in a panic attack. I'm like, I can do this.
You need like a paper bag.
Never gone that far. It's all good. Well, I wonder, did you thrift at all whenever you were a kid?
You know what? I didn't, but we would go, like, I know we tried to be price conscious, so that's why I was like obsessed with the 99-cent store when I was younger. And I don't actually remember the first time I thrifted. Probably when I was graduate. I want to say like around college age or whatever. That's probably when I started to get into it. And just like, there was so many clothes there. I was so excited. I was like, all this stuff and it fits me. Yeah.
That's awesome. And it's only $1.
I know. And then I remember my like first big thrifting experience. I went like on a sale day too. I got like these huge bags full of clothes.
Oh no.
So crazy. And I made like that. I think that's around the time when I started my YouTube channel and I was kind of like, doing hauls and whatnot.
Because you have your own YouTube channel that you started before I even ever started YouTube. Is that right?
I do. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what made you go, I want to put my thrift hauls or whatever on YouTube?
Because I thought like watching other people, I watched YouTube for a while and then I kind of like, I think I was like looking up a makeup tutorial from Kat Von D or something. I don't even remember. Nice. Right?
I remember the makeup tutorial YouTube days. I had that same time.
Yeah, that was really big. And then like I don't know how I got into the thrifting thing. And then I was like, oh, that's so entertaining. I like looking at what other people find and like how much they paid. And it's just crazy to me. It's like mind blowing, right?
Yeah.
So then I got my stuff and I was like, I'm going to film it. Because I think it's entertaining to watch. So I was like, oh, maybe somebody will find it entertaining or useful because I'm going to shout out this store,
Yeah.
So I think it just kind of like went from there. And I was also trying to like connect with people because you know how like you go through that like, I don't even know, like that time after college or whatever, you're kind of like, what am I going to do next?
Yeah. I have so many options. Yeah. How am I going to choose one?
Yeah, so I think I was kind of like looking for connection with people too somehow, even though I'm like super shy and it's like, why would you film yourself? But also you're in a room by yourself, like talking to yourself.
Yeah.
So,
It's like, yes, there's probably upwards of 1,000 people going to watch this. However, they're not here right now. Y'all aren't here. It's just us.
Yeah, I kind of would psych myself out though. I'm like, nobody's going to watch it. It's fine,
Oh yeah. You're like, I don't want people to watch this because I'm scared. Like that's how I'm able to get through it. That's interesting.
That's what I do. Even today, I'm like, nobody's going to watch it. I have to like lie to myself. To get through it. Yeah,
I could imagine. I'm starting to do my own videos now for the very first time. I can understand the pressure, oh my gosh, I have to get through a narrative of this. Like whenever we started this podcast today, I was just like, I don't know what to do. But now we're in it. We're moving and grooving, so it's all good. So I could totally understand that, like that pressure that having to try to get through a video and be like, I hope people like it.
And if you don't, oh well, tough cookies.
Yeah, it's my life. You should just deal with it. So those videos you did mostly thrift hauls?
Yeah, I did a lot of thrift hauls. I did some makeup videos. I don't know why. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I was just having fun. It was more like a makeup review, I guess. Like, fun. Do I like this? Is it a good product?
Yeah.
And then I started getting into Dollar Tree.
Ooh.
Dollar Tree haul videos.
You are a Dollar Tree expert.
I love Dollar Tree so much. Yeah, it's just like they have so much cool stuff and like It's funny because Ivan will come with me and he just gets through the store in like 2 seconds. And he's like, what? It's like all the same stuff. I'm like, no, they have new stuff. You have to like look really carefully.
How dare you say it's the same?
I was like, get out of here.
You don't even understand.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just like, I think it all stems from like, when I was younger, we used to go to the 99-cent store with my grandma. And like that was the highlight of our day or whatever, you know, like if for some reason she had to go there, we'd go walking, you know, and then we'd try to beg her like, can you please buy us a toy, please? And then like sometimes she would say yeah, and that would just like, I don't know, it was just like. And then also my grandma, whenever she'd go to the store, she would come back and like show me like, look at what I bought, and it was only $5, and she would get like this high off of it, you know.
Yeah.
So I think
there's nothing quite like finding something great for a bargain.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of like where my show and tell things comes from. It comes from her because I always enjoyed seeing what she picked up also.
Yeah.
So it kind of like, I think that's where it comes from.
You know, I never considered that being a human trait. Like we like to show off the things that we buy for ourselves. Whenever I was a kid, I say a kid, whenever I was in high school and finally making my own money and had a car to go do stuff, I'd go, let's go to the mall. So I'd go to the mall and I'd come home. I'd be like, Mom, look at all these shirts I just bought. And I just show her each one. I'm like, look, I bought this because of this. And I think I'm going to wear it here. And she just like sit there for the fashion show. And she's just like, oh, that's so great, honey. Like, bless her if she didn't actually care about it.
Oh my God. I think she did.
She probably did. Because anytime that she would go shopping, I would do the same for her. I'm like, what'd you get? Let's show me. She'd be like, oh, okay.
It's such like a girly thing too, right? It's like a bonding thing. Like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm going to wear it to this. It's going to be so cool. Yeah. I'm going to do my hair like this.
And you're like, oh, well, I like that thing too that you just bought. I think that's awesome. And so it's like this whole like thing that you find that you have in common. I don't know. We're just analyzing women now. We get it. We figured it out.
Yes. We solved it.
Oh, so I guess you started thrifting because you were watching other people on YouTube do it first.
I think that's where it came from.
That's awesome.
I was just like interested in it. I was curious about it. I know like, and then kind of getting into like documentaries and whatnot, and just seeing like how much clothing we waste and like throw away. That is so crazy.
It's insane. I mean, you were definitely a shopper of the Goodwill bins as well. You and Ivan go to the bins all the time. What was your first reaction when you walked into the bins the first time?
I think I was overwhelmed. I was intimidated. I was a little scared.
Yeah.
Because you know, people are just like, you walk in, people are like digging. Some people are digging like frantically. You're like, oh man, am I gonna get like jumped here? Or like, what's gonna happen? You know,
potentially.
Yeah, something really good, maybe.
Potentially.
But yeah, no, it was. I think it was in LA County somewhere. Long Beach.
So you went to the bins in LA first?
I think so. I want to say it was that one. And it was just like mostly all clothes, and there was probably like one bin of shoes at the back.
Okay. So it was a relatively small bins.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Well, I asked about it because my first reaction whenever I went into the bins was, of course, wow, look at all this stuff. It's so cheap. Yeah. But also like, holy cow, how do we have this much extra clothing in the world? Like, it's insane. So it's really blows the
sad,
mind.
Yeah.
It is. You know, it's like that you can go to the mall and you can buy your cute shirts to show your mom and everything, and that's all good and well. But it's like you don't need to buy shirts from the mall. You can buy them for the thrift store. You
can save a lot of money. Cute.
You save a lot of money and save the planet. It's fantastic. That's my 2 cents. Cool.
Let's not be political. I'm just kidding.
Hey, everybody loves the earth. I feel like we can agree on that.
Yeah, definitely. It's just crazy though. Like I wish I would have gotten into thrifting a lot sooner, like when I was younger, because I always struggled like with clothing and like fashion and stuff. And then like your body starts changing when you're, growing into this woman and
getting into puberty and needing bras and learning that your button-up blouses don't fit all the time.
It's so frustrating. Like for me, it was my hips. I was like, oh dang, these pants don't fit anymore. I have to go buy more pants.
You got a donk, girl.
I was like, dang, I have to go to the mall again. I hate this.
Dang it. Well, that's, again, the beauty of thrifting is like, oh, shoot, these jeans don't fit anymore. I only paid $3 for it. I'll go buy another one for another $3 and it'll be good to go.
It's fine. I just wish I would have gotten into it a lot sooner. It would have been so helpful.
Yeah.
Like looking back.
Whenever I was a kid, we would have an annual rummage sale is what we called it. So the community would bring a bunch of stuff that they wanted to donate, and we'd set it up in the gym, and it was this big weekend event. So all the week before, these women would be sorting through bags and bags of clothes, little knickknacks, and all the stuff that you would find in the thrift store. We would do a pop-up shop during the week in the gym, lay it all out, and then the weekend, all the shoppers would come. And then when Sunday came, it was over. Monday, we packed it all up. And, it just goes to show how much our hometown really needed a thrift store, because that's such an impractical way to try to do all that. Like, it overwhelms me even to think about it. But this annual event would come around, and my mom would be like, it's the rummage sale, let's go get clothes for you, because we're growing children.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to buy another pair of jeans. Like, let's just go buy some at the thrift store or at the rummage sale. So it's like we had it a little bit whenever I was a kid. We would do kind of a version of thrift shopping. But it wasn't something that we did because it was just this one annual event. And so it was like, oh, it's that time. So, we'll of course take advantage of this event, but we aren't thrifters, because we didn't go to actual thrift stores and shop because we didn't have one in our hometown. So growing up in high school and everything, like, I didn't thrift at all, ever. Aww. And so whenever I met Dallas, he was somebody that went to thrift stores all the time. He's like, hey, let's what do you want to do today? I'm like, I don't know. Let's go hang out. And he's like, well, let's go to Goodwill. I'd be like, why?
You'd say why?
Yeah, I'm like, why? Why do we need a Goodwill? Because you don't. To me, it was almost like we need to go to Walmart. And I was like, what do you need to find really cheap that you can't, like, that you really need right now? So that's what, in my brain, what Goodwill was for. Like, oh, I need a toaster. So, like, let's go get a toaster.
For, like, practical things.
Yeah. So I was like, why? Why are we going to Goodwill? He's like, because it's fun. And I'm like, oh, is it? So, I didn't know what to look for whenever I was there. I was so out of my element. I was like, I don't know. Do I want shoes? Do I need a dress? Like, because I was going for a mission in my head. Like, I need to look for X thing. Yeah. And so I was limiting my possibilities of thrifting. And so I would go look for movies. I would go look for, I really like X movie. Like, I'll pick this up. This is fine. And I started doing book collections too. Ooh. I got all the Harry Potter books, of course, which took a lot less time than I hoped to, because usually you can find a Harry Potter book within a few thrift stores. Yeah. My next set that I really wanted to get was the Series of Unfortunate Events books. Oh, okay. That took a long time. Like, really? A very long time to finally piece together. And we had it on a bookshelf for a really long time. And then I sold it all in book bins.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, we don't have it anymore, but it's fine. I'll just find the set again. But that was like my beginning into thrifting. And then, slowly over time, I would start to go, oh, well, okay, I will look for shoes this time. I'll go look at, the dresses. I'll start to expand my horizons until now we are where we are now. And we're reselling stuff. And so I look back on all of that time and I go, all that time that we were eating like just rice and beans and trying to make ends meet because we had $0 to our name. It's like, I could have been reselling stuff this whole time.
I know.
We could have been so much better off than we were. Like, little did we know.
I know.
This whole world that we live in now existed back then.
I know. I wish I would have gotten started. I wish I would have started sooner too with that. But it's just you can only do what you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like, and I know, like, Dallas always did like kind of thrift flip things. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he would find things at Goodwill and try to sell them on OfferUp or something like that. It was usually camera equipment. He'd be like, this lens is like from the 80s and it's actually really good for this one camera, and so I think I can get this much out of it. And so, especially in LA, people who are filmmakers, you throw a rock and you're gonna hit a filmmaker, so.
Or a photographer.
Yeah, for sure. So I always thought it was like this unapproachable thing. Like, I don't know anything about, camera lenses. I'm not going to be able to sell any of this stuff. But, I knew that world did exist because he would do that kind of thing. Like, there is money in these thrift stores. You just got to find it. But the day that I realized what I could sell and how I could sell it, it was I was at the Goodwill bins, and we had just moved to Phoenix, and we were going to the bins pretty often, just to kind of shop for random nonsense, because that's what we do. And I was, again, like, not really understanding what I should shop for. Like, I don't know what mission am I on today? Like, we need to find a toaster. I'll get a toaster. Like, that was kind of what I was doing at the bins. But I was like picking through the clothing a little bit and like picking up random t-shirts and that kind of stuff. And ended up talking to one of the other guys that are there, the t-shirt dudes. And I was like, well, what do you do? Like, obviously you're looking for specific things, and I understand that you sell them. Because, like, they're not quiet about it. If you ever talk to those younger people, they're not quiet about it. They'll let you know. You just ask. So they start like, yeah, I sell t-shirts and, jeans and all that kind of stuff. And I sell them on Depop. I'm like, what's a Depop? Like, that sounds like an interesting thing. And so I started pulling more and more information out of it. And I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's give it a go. And so I started picking up anything that I saw was vintage. And like anybody who's just getting into reselling, you go, let's try this out. And you look at it now and go, oh my God, why did I buy that? I tried to sell that. Someone bought that. Why?
Oh my gosh.
I remember the very first thing that I sold. It was a denim jumpsuit from the 80s. And shoulder pads and all. It had these like fun beadwork things on the front, and I scroll down to the very, very bottom of my Depop page because it keeps every single sale you ever made. Like, in those photos, it'll have it marked as sold as long as you want it to.
Oh, dang.
So I looked at it. I sold it for $15.
Oh, wow.
Looking back on that now, like, oh my God, no wonder it's sold. Like, I could have gotten at least $50 out of that. Like, that'd have been like pretty cheap. Like, that was a $100 jumpsuit. Like,
oh my God.
Had to be. I was just like, oh well. You know what? I look at it as a win for me because, it was my first sale. I got my foot in the door, and I finally was able to kind of go, I can do this. But I told myself whenever I started doing Depop, I was like, I am going to go to the bins, and I'm going to go pick up some stuff, and I'm going to post something every single day. Like, I promised myself, a lot like Dallas did whenever he started the YouTube channel. I am going to do this thing, and I'm going to do it consistently for as long as I can, and see what happens. I was completely expecting it to go like, you're never going to sell anything. Like, none of this stuff matters. Like, it's fine. Aww. Like, I expected to last like 2 months, and it'd just be like, well, you tried. Good job. But here we are. I've been on Depop, I think, for like 3 years now. So, hey,
oh, wow.
It worked out,
Yeah, good job.
But it's just such an interesting journey of thrifting. I had no idea that you had started a YouTube channel long before Ivan ever did.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I think he actually posted his first video, but he's had so many different channels. That's true. The thing is, like, he starts them and then he stops them and then he starts something else. So he's had various channels. So I think his first video actually went up before mine. But yeah, I was really like heavily interested in it, and I was like talking to him about it, and we do that a lot. Like, I'll get into something and then he'll find it interesting, and then he always jumps the gun, but that's fine, because at least we have common interests and things, and we get along.
That seems like something that we are very similar in, like Dallas and I, and you and Ivan. Like, you and I are thinkers. Like, well, I have this idea. I think this would be really cool. I think this would be fun. Let me take a minute to kind of prepare myself for it. And Dallas will be like, oh, we should do that tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, I was thinking like next month, but like
like you need time to prep and like get your mind around it. And we need this thing.
Like, we're not ready yet. He's like, why? I'm like, because I'm not ready yet. He's like, why? Like, shut up.
Yeah, because it's like scary when you want to start something new, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like they have less fear. They're like, let's just do it. Let's go. I'm like, okay.
And then we're just like going, we're just, all right, we're going to do it. Well, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we're doing this thing.
Oh, yeah. So you started doing your YouTube channel. You started doing thrift hauls. You started doing your 99-cent store hauls and that kind of stuff. Is that something that you have a lot of plans on in the future, like really like pursuing very steadily in the near future? Or?
At the time, I was like really passionate about it, and I was doing it. There was a time when I was uploading consistently, and then I kind of like dropped off. I forgot what was going on that I stopped, but now it's been so long, like the gap, that I'm like, there's so many other people doing it now. I feel like their channels are so huge, and they're not gonna watch my little tiny channel.
Like there's no room for you in YouTube anymore.
And also, I feel like there's so many other people doing those like Dollar Tree hauls and 99-cent store hauls, and like follow me along and come with me and da da da.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just I almost kind of like lost interest in doing it myself. Like
Sure.
I'll watch other people do it.
Yeah.
I think it's entertaining. I want to see what's in the store right now, but as far as me doing those hauls again, probably not.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I'm going to do next, or if I'm going to continue that channel. I'd like to. I just don't know what I would make videos about.
Yeah.
You know?
So you would kind of want to change everything and just do something entirely different.
Yeah, I probably would.
That's awesome.
I don't know. I have to think about it.
Yeah, like there's a lot of avenues that you could do. Like you're an amazing artist. Like you definitely have all this beautiful eye and dishes. Like you there is room for you on YouTube if you want to do it. But
yeah, it's hard. Like, well, like speaking about art and stuff, like I've always like that's my first love. You know, drawing, painting, all that stuff. More so drawing. But I feel like it's so hard to put yourself out there just in general. And then with something that's like really like, you know,
personal for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to just be like, oh, here's my thing. Because I know that there's going to be people who are critical. I mean, no matter what you do, there's going to be those people. Sure. Yeah. But it's just hard when it's like something that's like really close to your heart. And I'm like, I don't know if I want this criticism.
That could sting.
This judgment.
It could also make it feel a little bit more like tainted in a way, I guess. Maybe it could be like, well, I let those naysayers into my head too much, now I don't enjoy it as much, and like that, you know, it's precious. Maybe that's something that would be best for yourself. I don't know. I'm trying to like, I'm in that point right now with my YouTube channel. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do either. I'm just
you're feeling it out,
throwing some stuff on the wall, see what sticks. I don't know. So I totally understand. Like, it's a daunting question. Like, what am I gonna talk about to the world for a long time?
I know. And then like your interests change, you know, over time, and it's just, I don't know. It just seems like overwhelming.
It does. Well, I mean, you've definitely become a huge part in the channel that Ivan has started. Was that something that you initially like talked about together? Like, oh, we're gonna do thrifting videos together.
In the beginning, it was kind of just like his channel, but it wasn't even. It was something totally different. I forgot what kind of videos he was making, but it was different. And then all of a sudden, we kind of started talking about the resale thing, like in private or whatever. And we're like, you know, we should get back into reselling. That would be really cool. Because we did resell before a while ago. It was years ago now. But then we kind of just fell out of it. We weren't like really in the right like niche. So, so we were talking about reselling. Then he started making his videos. And I didn't really want to be in them. Because it's just, I don't know. I'm shy. I'm an introvert, you know, I'm like, oh, and then I'm very like self-critical. So if I like watch myself in the video, I'm like, oh my God, I could have said this differently. I could have, you know, just all the things.
The same way. I have a hard, like the 2 videos I've made on my channel, I have watched maybe half of them. Like the first one I will say I sat down and made myself watch the whole thing. But I was like, don't show me any footage until you are done with it. Like I need to see what they're gonna see, but I don't need to see all of my like. And today we're like, I'd be mortified.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to watch yourself.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know, you just kind of like, I always just like psych myself out now. I'm like, look, I just have to lie to myself, like, nobody's gonna watch it, nobody cares. It's just this little thing, like, you know. And I kind of just try to have fun with it. I try. There's some days you could tell I'm definitely like stressed, tired, whatever. But I'm like, oh well. Those days. At least I did it.
For sure. I mean, do you feel like it's getting any more comfortable now that you've done several videos?
I mean, like a little bit. It just depends like on my mood and, you know, there's so many like factors, you know, because there's like, I'm the type of person like, you could see on my face what I'm thinking or feeling. Like, and I hate it. Yeah, I hate it because I try to have like a poker face, but I just don't. So, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that comes off more genuine. Oops.
Maybe, yeah.
Definitely. So, I don't know. Like, I do feel comfortable some days more than others. It's just a struggle. It's something I deal with.
It's like I find it so impressive that you like already did a YouTube video, like you self-started and you sat in front of the camera doing the haul videos all by yourself. Because like I've always told Dallas, I'm like, I don't talk much in our videos. Like I don't feel like I have like the right words in the moment. Like I panic talk. So he'll be like, all right guys, today we're gonna go to the Goodwill here, and it's this Goodwill, and we really like this Goodwill for this reason. Hannah, what do you think? I'm like, thrifting.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it's I know Ivan talks a lot more in the videos, so I feel like you can relate in that same thing. Like I'll just be here, like you do.
Yeah, I'll just be in the background dancer.
I can be silly on camera. I can't narrate.
Yeah, it's just, well, because like trying to come up with things like just on the fly is sometimes hard, and then like I say crazy things and I'm like, why did I say that? It's so embarrassing. Like, oh well. But I try to just like go with it. Like I'm trying not to put so much pressure on myself and just, oh well, you know, whatever happens, and then if it's really dumb, then we'll take it out later, you know.
I do that stuff all the time. I think it was one of our recent videos. I can't remember how long ago it was now. I feel like it's been an eternity, but it was our bins video where we bought a couple of bins from the Goodwill. We did the clothing thing, and Dallas turned the camera on me, and I did like some kind of like thing with my hand. Spider-Man. And I was like, and Dallas was like, what was that? And I'm like, right on. Hang loose? I don't know. So of course I was mortified for the rest of the day. I'm like, oh my god, what am I doing? Like, why did I do that? And of course he's like, that was hilarious, we're keeping it in the video. I'm like, okay, but oh my god.
I think it was fine. I remember that part. It was fine.
It's you know, go with the flow. And honestly, like, it's just, if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at? Exactly. So no big deal.
Yeah, that's something I'm trying to learn. Like, don't be so serious. Like, who cares? We're all gonna die one day.
Dark.
It's all morbid.
Wow.
None of this is gonna matter.
None of it matters. Your life is meaningless. You're gonna die. Oh my gosh.
In other news.
Oh yeah, yes, that was our antique dishes. Oh my goodness. Well, the last thing I kind of wanted to talk about was our booths. We do similar things in our booths with selling antique dishes and some of the things that we enjoy the most. So, how do you feel like your booth is going? Do you enjoy the booth? Do you feel like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? How do you like booth selling?
Well, we have 2 locations right now. One's in Louisville and one is in Hearst, I believe.
I don't know where either of those places are. Louisville is in Kentucky in my head, so I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it's like we fly every morning.
Oh, you guys are extravagant.
They're about like 30, 40 minutes away.
Cool, okay.
Each one. The one in Louisville, it's so funny because like when we first got there, I was like, it was supposed to be Ivan's booth. So it was going to be like, and when I say that, I mean like more like toys and like things that interest
you and
him.
I do the same thing with that Dallas or you and I would do the same thing that Dallas and I do, where it's like he kind of picks the toys and I kind of pick the dishes. They're both your booth, but like, it's the toy booth and the dish booth, and it's like Dallas's booth, Hannah's booth. They're our booth, but you know.
Yeah, it's just easier to say my booth or his booth, but I mean, obviously we're a couple. We share the money.
For sure.
So, but that eventually turned into my booth, and then I had like a bunch of stuff that I was interested in there, and I thought things were gonna, You know what? For a while in the beginning, they were selling pretty quick, and I had like a lot of vintage dishes and whatnot in there. Just like a mix of things, really.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, what's going to sell here? I have no idea. So I'm going to just put like a bunch of little things that I'm interested.
Throw it at the wall, see what sticks.
Yeah, just different categories. And then, but like now it's kind of like evolved into like there's a lot more purses there, and like purses are selling there for some reason. So I was like, hey. Awesome. You know, if that's what they want, that's what I'm going to give them.
Sure.
So, but now it's kind of like dying down, and I think I want to close that booth actually.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's so like I love that location though, cuz like they have a lot of mid-century modern furniture and like a lot of pretty things, and it's so clean and organized there. So if you're interested, you know, hit them up. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna close that one because actually I moved all the vintage dishes to the Hearst booth,
the one where you had toys in before.
Yeah, so we had like toys. I think that was our first booth, was it? I don't remember. Anyways, it was the Nerf booth, and then it was a toy booth.
Okay, yeah.
Now it's a vintage dish
because
booth.
You actually had two booths, so you had a Nerf booth and a toy booth. So you still have the toy booth at that location as well, right?
Yeah, it's like right around the corner. Yeah, so like I don't know if it's like the layout. I feel like the layout in that booth is better. Like you can kind of walk around. There's like more space. So the dishes are doing a lot better there. They're like I'm having to like restock the shelves pretty frequently.
I love that.
So that's
I love hearing
good.
that.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, all right. Yeah. I'm surprised.
People buying dishes.
Yeah.
you fill up your cabinets too. Hoard them.
Yeah, hoard it.
Don't throw away your plate sets. You need 40 plates for 2 people and 2 cats.
Yes, because they're pretty.
I say that like my cats eat off my plates. They don't.
My God.
They have their own bowls. They're fancy.
No judgment.
Well, I mean, we're on this trip right now. We've got friends that are coming by to go check on them every couple of days or so to make sure that they're happy and have human contact, and you know they didn't like kill each other or anything.
Oh,
they
God.
wouldn't, but you know.
I hope not.
But at I always like the stressed cat mom in me. Like I set out like 3 months worth of food for them and like so much water. It's like a landmine in my house. If you step, you're gonna either knock over a cat bowl or spill water everywhere. I was like, Hannah, they're fine. They'll be okay.
I thought for a second you meant the other kind of landmine. I was like, oh no.
Oh no. Like, surprise kitties, this is gonna be fun for you. Like, no.
Oh my God. Oh no, I thought you meant like poop.
Oh no.
Like little poops everywhere when you get home.
No. They get in trouble if they do that. No, they're actually quite good about using the litter box and everything. They're good kitties. We got lucky in that sense. I love them dearly. But anyway, why did I bring that up? Cats eating off my plates. Plates meaning dishes, meaning antique mall booth. Roll this back a little bit. So you're feeling like the dishes are doing way better at this new location. Do you feel like there's a specific type of dish that does really well in particular?
Well, I have like I kind of try to like theme my shelves, you know, so I have like a bunch of vintage mugs on one shelf, and then this other shelf I have a lot of like Pyrex and Corningware.
Nice.
So I think that kind of helps because it's like, oh, there's a bunch of this stuff, let me look, you know.
Yeah, like so I could use a 6th coffee mug, why not?
Yeah, definitely. Everybody needs that
for sure.
But yeah, like my Pyrex and Corningware has been moving pretty good, which is, you know, I want to get rid of it, so I'm like, just buy it
for sure.
And then what else do I have in there? I have a lot of like vintage colorful glass cups and plates and things like that, and lately I've been finding a lot of like depression glass.
I was wondering, so I noticed a lot of depression glass around your house, and it's something that I kind of avoid like the plague. You know, watching Crazy Lamp Lady, she was just like, depression glass doesn't sell, don't bother with it. And I'm like, all right, yes ma'am, you know. And I feel like it's kind of making a comeback in a way.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like it's kind of getting popular again. I mean, I know I saw on somebody else's channel that they were talking about those footed goblets. You know,
they are, yeah.
And a lot of people are like buying those for weddings, you know, to like do their little table setting.
I saw the same thing. I was, of course, scrolling through Pinterest. Being an ex-bridal stylist, my Pinterest board definitely thinks that I have been planning a wedding for 6 years. So oh my God. I get all kinds of different like table inspiration things. They're just like, oh, look at these beautiful antique glasses. But I've noticed that it's specifically the colored ones. Like it's not necessarily the crystal ones, though.
No.
I'd be curious if those would be sellable as well. They're just like not as popular or something. I'm just amazed that this culture is kind of changing into like actually wanting depression glass again.
I know. It's exciting though. I love depression glass. I think it's so pretty. I know that like back then in the day it was like considered like cheaply made, and you do see like little bubbles in the glass and whatnot.
Yeah. But I think that's what makes it beautiful.
Yeah, because you're never gonna, I mean, it's so old, like you're never gonna, I don't even know how to put it into words.
It's like to me, it's a lot like with crystal, like the thicker white crystal kind of stuff. I look at that and I go, I feel like somebody spent a lot of money on that. Like I feel like that was a wedding gift for somebody. Yeah. They felt like that was an amazing piece that they're gonna hand down to their children and everything. So I look at it, even though like typically depression glass is very cheaply made and wasn't a very special thing. I look at it as if it is. It just looks like it has so much personality into it, and it's just this special piece of dishware. I don't know. I've always had a fondness for it.
Yeah, it's so pretty, and then it comes in like so many different colors and like shapes and stuff. And then there's like the uranium glass that glows. That's really cool.
That is dope.
Cool party trick.
I mean, I'm not gonna roll up into a thrift store with a black light and just be like,
I have one. I bought one. I was like, am I going to be that person? I might.
I think you should.
Just to check.
If I had a black light that I could carry to the thrift store, I probably would, honestly.
I
like this chick.
Is this authentic? Is this legit?
It's that black light girl. She's back.
She's a weirdo.
Oh, but it is so cool. And I know that uranium glass always had like a niche collector, like culture. Like a lot of people wanted that kind of stuff because it glows in the dark, because it's like slightly radioactive, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's it's cool. It's different. But yeah, depression glass.
And then there's the Vaseline glass. So that's like a different, because I'm trying to learn more about these things so I don't say the wrong thing, so I don't have people yelling at me. But the Vaseline glass is more of like a yellowish color. So that one like really stands out. Like you could see it across the room, like, oh, that's Vaseline glass.
Interesting. I need to do some research on that. I actually have no idea what that is.
It's really pretty.
I'll check it out. Is it different than like amber color? Is it like more vibrant?
Yeah, I would say it's like a bright, like neon yellowish color.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can definitely
put that on the watch list.
But talking about like crystal and stuff, I've always thought that it was so pretty because my mom had a lot of crystal items. Like she had Prince's house